Radiant team ban. IG's turn to ban. Radiant team ban.
Hello everybody, welcome back. This is the Redbull ECL and this is game 2 of a best of 3 for the playoff portion of the competition between IG and Tongfu. This match is effectively also your semi-final. We've only got the grand final tomorrow to be played, and IG are currently 1-0 up in this best of 3. So I'm Basecamp here providing coverage on behalf of Beyond the Summit, and joining me again is 1437. So Theban, how you doing? Theban. Okay, looks like he might not be here at the moment. Maybe he's fallen asleep. Maybe he was tweaking with his microphone again. We'll figure it out, but let's get ourselves underway with this game. So IG take a very convincing game 1. Tongfu were really relying on the heroes that they picked to be able to drag the game out a little bit for the gyrocopter. Didn't end up happening. They traded a lot for the early game. Had a couple of questionable dives, questionable decisions here and there. That did end up costing them some momentum, and IG with double Midas and quite a bit of split push do end up closing out the game. So getting back into it, Alchemist is going to be banned out along with the Nature's Prophet by IG. Visage and Bristleback are actually going to be the bans for Tongfu, and if they don't want IG to have the Enchantress, they might have to take it themselves here. It does depend on what kind of strat IG would like to run. And it would appear I have still lost my co-commentator, so hopefully he'll be back. Maybe he was just grabbing a glass of water, something along those lines. So the one thing that should be said for IG is that they've been looking pretty flexible recently. They've got a whole bunch of different strategies based around different timings. They're not afraid to pick up something a little bit unusual. We saw them just recently running some Wisp, which DK have been recently running to great success, but Tongfu are just going to be playing things pretty safe. Are going to end up going for the Clockwork. IG still going for that opening that we've seen DK using this entire tournament long. They pick up the DK and the Enchantress. So this opening can pretty much lead anywhere. We've talked about this at length just because we've seen it so many times so far this competition. The Enchantress fits in fantastically right now. It can't really be punished by an aggressive tri-lane. If you need the Enchantress to be active early and ganking, you can do that. If you want the Enchantress to be a little bit more farm oriented and just push, then that's definitely an option as well. And she can adjust her build depending on what is appropriate. Some games you can get lots of points in Untouchable and get a lot of damage out that way just because of survivability. Some games there's lots of nukes and you can just go for attendance instead. And Tongfu, they've grabbed the Clockwork so far. They're also going to end up going back for the Doom. Doom, great to have against the Dragon Knight, prevent multiple Dragon Tails, prevent multiple Breathe Fires. This is also something that we've seen quite a bit so far in this competition. And Pugna gets removed, Tongfu not wanting to have to deal with that again. Again, the beauty of this opening for the draft for IG is that it can do all kinds of things. And Theban, are you back? You're back.
Where's my Hearthstone?
There is no Hearthstone. We're back to Dota.
What do you mean there's no Hearthstone? You know, I subscribed to the BTS channel just now.
For Hearthstone.
We're streaming Hearthstone. And you're telling me there's no Hearthstone. I'm disappointed.
I'm sorry, Theban. I don't know what to tell you.
I guess subscribe to unsubscribe. That's all I can say.
Damn, that's harsh words from 1437. But anyway, so you're back.
Guess this'll do.
Yeah, this just some Dota, just some really high quality Dota. It'll, we know whatever.
IG Tongfu, it's not like there's some top team.
No. IG going for the same draft, pretty much, that they have gone for in the past, and this is a draft that DK have used very successfully against them as well. This is also the draft that they used to beat DK in the group stage portion of this competition. So we'll see if Tongfu can deal with it.
The Enchantress, man.
Yeah, the Enchantress. I told you about the Enchantress. It's a real thing.
You told me it's real, alright. It's gonna spoink around and with the Wisp too. You know, that's one of my it's actually a really funny story. When the first time I played Wisp in like
Mhm.
in a
Reserve time.
team game like with LGD8, we played it with Enchantress. It was like I thought it was the most OP thing ever. You just gank with a creep like a Furbog or a Centaur and it's tethered up at 20% movement speed. It's just some really funny stuff, and I think we might be able to see that in this game. Because like when Chinese teams play like Wisp and stuff, sometimes they do gank a lot with the hero, more than like just try to level it up.
Yeah,
So
we've seen, I would say, two different styles. The main feature of the Wisp is, as always, that they're picking it up so that they can do this thing where, you have an offlaner that creates a lot of space. He draws a little bit of attention while everybody is running around dealing with dealing with whoever is being annoying at that point in time. The Wisp plus whoever his carry is, they're just farming up and can participate in the fights whenever they need. So with that, the team with the Wisp generally just pulls ahead with the farm lead. And the other thing that's worth mentioning is that I guess it's even more difficult these days to go for an aggressive tri-lane. And even if you do, there's a chance that maybe you just get wiped out by the Enchantress roaming in with 3 creeps. So it's a big decision to make, and it doesn't even necessarily guarantee that you shut the Wisp out of the game. So I guess we'll have to see what Tongfu can do here to deal with it.
Interesting Shadow Demon pickup. I can't wrap my head around why they would want it. Probably could be like a roaming combo coming from Tongfu. Maybe they want to go for like a Chen. What do you think?
I don't like the Chen against the Enchantress a whole lot.
Yeah, but the thing about IG, like these Enchantresses, they're more defensive, yeah?
Mm-hmm. A little bit, yeah. If they see opportunities to gank, like there's a really vulnerable mid, a Pugna, Storm Spirit, something like that, they will move around, but otherwise it's pretty much just farm up a little bit, grab a couple of creeps. The tier 1 on the safe lane tends to be more of an objective than the than getting some kills early would be how I would.
You see this Darkseer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes me think it's an aggressive trial with the Wisp bench. Because now that everything is coming back to me, Darkseer was one of the heroes that we always played as well with this combo.
So is the tri-lane Enchantress Wisp Darkseer, or is the aggressive tri-lane?
It's kind of like a it's kind of like a roaming duo thing. But I don't know. They could do that, but not that Tongfu picks Storm as well. That's another easy target for Wisp bench, in my opinion, if they do decide to roam together.
Yeah, to start moving around pretty aggressively early. I mean, I guess LGD first incarnation, bread and butter was roam with jungler plus support, and people just didn't know how to deal with it. So,
two of my favorite heroes are in the game, Darkseer and Shadow Demon. So, quite cool to watch.
And I guess we were talking about the Darkseer a little bit in the draft of the last game, and we don't really see him so much anymore. Is that just because almost anybody can offlane now and you just get more out of other heroes? I mean, Darkseer is pretty level dependent when you look at him. Once he's at level 7, yes, rank 4 Ion Shell is great, but he doesn't bring a whole lot more compared to, say, a Clockwork who gets a hook shot, a Nyx Assassin who gets a Vendetta, something like that. You think that's the main reason?
I think the jungle, because the jungle changed and where the lane meets has changed, the Darkseer, him jungling isn't so beneficial for your team because your opponent gets a free lane and your opponent's offlaner is still getting experience, right? And before Darkseer goes into the jungle and your opponent's offlaner gets zoned out because of where the lane meets, and then you just get a huge advantage. And the other thing is teams have learned how to play against Darkseer as well.
Yeah,
and that's a really big thing.
Yeah, so Darkseer used to have options. He used to be able to, if the enemy team picked a very strong defensive tri-lane that could kill him, just go straight into the jungle at level 1. But that's not so great anymore. And IG breaking out the Ricky Wisp. I like it.
Ricky, alright. This does not look like an aggressive challenge now, because Ricky is not a hero who can just solo. So that just
they can still roam.
Totally
I mean, it wasn't. If it was,
they should still roam because it is against the Storm Spirit, and they shouldn't let the Storm just have a free lane against Dragon Knight.
Yeah.
before he hits 6.
10
So
They do have to be
They
careful
should-
that they shut down the Clockwork, though. You don't want to leave Clockwork 1v1 against
5
a
seconds
melee
remaining.
hero, because he's going to give Ricky a really hard time.
Reserve time.
Couple of seconds left for Tongfu. Just going to end up going for the Leshrac. So it is going to be that roaming combo, like you
Yeah, the
mentioned,
Shadow
the
Demon
Shadow Demon
Leshrac.
Leshrac.
not Shed. Leshrac. Okay. So it looks like the Doom is gonna be that one role in this game. Joe playing up the Doom, and you know, I'm not a. This is gonna come down to IG Snowball here because, to be honest, I'm not a fan of the last Ricky pick. I don't think it was very good because I think Doom alone is capable of just crushing that hero. Like Ricky doesn't even have a lot of. It doesn't even have a big health pool, you know. Like one Doom and a nuke could be enough just to like kill that hero, or some kind of random that like rocket damage or something, just landing on this
10
stealth
seconds
assassin.
remaining.
So I just not a fan of the Ricky pick after the Doom was already picked.
Yeah, I mean, it helps you a little bit against the Storm Spirit, but it's not so much a counter as it just forces him to move towards a
Prepare for
BKB.
battle.
It
A
can,
little
it
bit
doesn't even
earlier.
like split farm. I mean, like it can't even like flash farm, whatever you want to
Mhm.
call it. It's just a hero who can slay other heroes. But whatever, it is a best of 3, so IG could be feeling quite confident in their ability to even win game 3 if something happens here. So
Maybe let's not paint it like that. Let's remind everybody of the stakes. I suppose I'll double check.
okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. Okay. So the loser of this match, they're third place in the competition. So they are guaranteed at least $1,650 dollars. That's USD, or the equivalent, obviously. And second place, which you will secure for yourself at the very least if you advance out of this game, is around 3,900. So there's still definitely a price tag attached to this game, and a lot of pride as well. The winner of this match advances to the grand finals and gets another shot against DK. So looks like we're just gonna have a pause. We've had a couple of pauses for technical issues over the course of this tournament, so hopefully this one won't be too long. But this is game 2, guys, of this best of 3. IG are currently up 1-0. Let's very quickly introduce the team. So over on IG, we've got Hao on the Ricky, we've got YYF on the Darkseer, Banana on the Enchantress, Ferrari 430 on the Dragonite, Faith is going to be on the Wisp, and I'll leave it to Theban to handle Tongfu.
Alright, Tongfu. We have Mu playing his Star Spirit. I would say this is one of his signature heroes as well.
Definitely.
So, something where we can look forward to. ZSMJ playing Leshrac, Kabu playing his signature Clockwork, Sunshine on the Shadow Demon, and the Captain Joe playing the Doom. And it looks like a farming Leshrac. Or maybe not. Well, the Shadow Demon bought the Courier Wards. In this version, you're capable of doing that. But he has a Style Shield on the Clockwork. Actually, this is a farming Leshrac.
Yeah, and the SMJ has a Ring of Protection, so...
And 100 extra gold, yeah. It's pretty... I mean, it's really cool that they picked Ricky in this game, but I'm just questioning it.
So
that's all.
it looks like it's going to be... what, aggro try with Clockwork kind of supporting? The Shadow Demon Shadow Demon Clockwork and Leshrac, and then they've got the Storm Spirit and the Doom as their 2 solos. I don't mind this. It definitely puts a lot of pressure on the tri lane, and it definitely keeps the Enchantress... She has to help top. There's no other option
Yeah,
for her.
it does. It does. To be honest, if it were up to me, like, okay, the problem with what Tongfu is doing right now is that when they go 3 guys top, they leave mid and bottom really vulnerable, right? And Darkseer is a hero who's capable of just creep skipping, and that will leave a lot of room for Enchantress just to get into the bottom lane and kill the Doom. Or even the Storm. The Storm has no escape mechanism at all. And they can just leave the Ricky to just get levels, basically, on the top lane, right? If it were up to me and I was Tongfu, I would put a Clockwork in the off lane, let him get as much XP as he can, because it's a Ricky and a Wisp. He shouldn't be too afraid, because if anything happens, he can just cog and walk away, you know? Their kill potential isn't that great, and with Style Shield, it
Or he can just
should
TP
be good enough.
if he wants to.
Yeah, there's no disables even. So just let him get XP, and he'll probably get a lot. zone out the Darkseer on the bottom lane first, and then they can just try for ganks. Like if the Shadow Demon and Leshrac are off the map, then the DK will always be afraid. And with doing that, you can also protect the Storm as well. I think Tongfu just have the chance to lose 2 lanes if they do this. It's risky. Obviously, they can get a lot. Not get a lot, but like they can do some cool stuff if they go aggressive, like shut down the Ricky. But I'm not sure if that'll be enough.
Yeah.
Like it's very misleading, you know, just shutting down the Ricky alone, because you are leaving a lot of openings, a lot of holes.
Yeah, the hope for Tongfu is that they bring this tri-lane up here, and IG do what I said, which is keep the Ricky and the Wisp here and try and salvage the tri-lane by bringing in Enchantress ganks. But as you very well pointed out, the other option is to just say, okay, Ricky, you're going to sit here and you're going to soak levels, and that's all you're going to do. You're going to be the offlane hero, pretty much. And we're going to go and gank, and we're going to get these supports off your back by going somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's a lot of disconnects. Hopefully they'll sort it out. Moo's still here. Nope. Okay. IG's still here. We'll see what's happening.
I have to remake or something, huh?
Yeah, might be the case. Maybe they need to fix a switch or
yeah.
Nope.
Looks like a remake.
Definitely looks like a remake here. Okay, guys, so we're gonna probably jump out to a short break, and then we'll be back with the all-pick remake of this game. I guess we'll just keep talking. Why not? It probably won't take too long.
Yeah. Because they have the Leshrac as a farmer, it does look like an aggressive champion. Obviously, they didn't reach their lanes yet, and we won't know how they're laning until it actually happens, because it could be anything. But we can speculate.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if either team gets a little bit of extra information out, I guess, at level 1, because if you're IG and you walk up there and Tongfu have 5 heroes up and ready to go, then I guess it's more of a clue that they are going to be running that aggressive tri-lane. And if you check the build on Leshrac, like you said, it very clearly shows that they're prioritizing Leshrac's farm. He's still going to be the 3 position effectively.
Not Ricky, man.
You're not sold?
I'm just looking at all of Tongfu's heroes. They have Storm, which, like, anything that can close in on Ricky when they have vision is just too much for Ricky to handle, unless he has a BKB. And when he has a BKB, like, that's after a few items. So.
Yeah, I think it is definitely going to be a difficult game for the Ricky. And I think you said it best when it was, they do need to maybe snowball a little bit with the way that they play this. So we'll see. Looks like we're ready to go. Yep. So straight back to it. So do we have any other interesting matchups to talk about? It's probably going to be DK versus Storm mid, which is not too interesting 1v1, but if you get some support movements going in, can get a bit interesting. And then that would leave the bottom lane matchup to be Doom versus Darkseer. And that's a lane that the Darkseer can skip, so he can actually get a lot done there.
Oh yeah.
So guys, welcome back. This is the all-pick remake. Again, it was a very short jump between the draft and this. And I guess the teams, if they've had a bit of a chat and suspect anything, we could see some adjustments to item builds and things like that. But I don't know. Presumably they're not reloading from save. This is just going to be a remake. We didn't even get to creep spawn, so.
It's not like anyone saw where people were laning.
Yeah, nobody got any information out of anywhere. Aside from looking over at the enemy team and trying to read their faces or something like that. It is of course a LAN with no booths, so.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Man. Now that brings a lot of memories. Freaking
yeah.
All the players, like each team had like at least 1 or 2 players who just yelled like crazy. Yeah, like Tongfu has Hao at the time.
Mhm.
DK had ROTK. We had Misery in LGDN who was yelling, and PyCat too.
Prepare for
Oh
battle.
man, those are some fun times. Like that was like a real LAN, you know?
Yeah. Do you think there's a big impact to the like morale and things like that when people are yelling at each other and it's getting heated, and or is it still business as usual?
It's just I think it does get to some people, right? When you
Mhm.
do that, like you want to show off, you want to be like you don't want to let it phase you, you know. You want to be you want to one up the other guy yelling at you. So, but I think the biggest thing at that LAN was you can't hear your own allies because in
Okay.
China nobody actually uses headsets
Yeah, nobody
for
uses
any
headsets and
reason.
nobody uses VoIP software either.
No, they just yell because that's
Mhm.
what they used to, right? In Dota
Yeah,
1.
exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
people just talk. They don't use Vent, Skype, nothing. Even at TI and stuff, like TI1, TI2, whatever, TI3, none of those teams ever used any kind of voice
Mm.
communication.
I remember hearing from, I think it was from Black Shaitan, that Valve wanted everybody to use, like, if you were going to use VoIP at TI, it had to be the in-game
Oh
voice,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's really laggy. Like, there's like
No, it's not. It's not. It wasn't.
it
But
wasn't.
when they were gonna do that, yeah, they fixed it all up
Okay,
where it was like instant. The
okay,
moment you spoke, like it
okay.
was
So they
quicker
did a
than
good job.
anything we could use. Oh
Okay,
yeah, for sure.
okay. Because I just remember him mentioning that it was like maybe it was for group stages or something like that, but at least when it first got mentioned at that time, the in-game communication wasn't the best. But good to hear that it is working 100%.
Yeah. There wasn't a LAN I've ever used voice communication in. Oh, the
Okay.
last
30
MLG or something.
seconds
That
to
was the only
battle.
one. But apart from that, yeah, it's just natural. Like you just yell,
Yeah.
yeah, people will hear you.
Okay, so IG actually choose to change how they opened this time around. The last game they were walking towards the top lane. This time they're actually going to head down over into the Radiant jungle and just
They
drop
worded
wards
everything.
everything. Yeah.
The
What
battle
the
begins.
And Joe is playing Let's Track now.
Huh.
CSMJ is the Doom.
Okay. He did play Doom yesterday, but
It changed everything.
yeah, they did. Kabu's
What?
like a full offlane clockwork now.
Yeah.
That SMJ looks like
This
he's
is-
going to be
this is
jungling on
smart.
the
No,
Doom. Yeah.
If it wasn't for IG blocking all their camps, this is smart, you know? Just like how I said earlier, right?
Mhm.
How they should put just the clockwork off it just to get XP. But this, like IG just thought ahead and blocked all the camps the moment they saw this.
Yeah, so it looked like they realized that they could be a little bit greedier with the way that they played this, and
They had time to think about it. YYF bottom lane, he's taking a lot of damage, but some stun shield procs will be enough to keep him up. Yeah. Like when you make remakes, you have more time to think about your lanes. You know.
Mhm.
Like when I thought of how they were laning, like they went right from the draft into the lanes. I have the entire time to think about
Yeah.
what they should do, how they should do it, and whatever. So once they received that time, they decided that this was just a better choice for them to do, and not the aggressive trial lane and leave their lanes vulnerable.
Yeah, unfortunately, ZSMJ is gonna have to head up towards the offlane to team up with Kabu.
And dual lane.
Yeah.
But you know, this dual lane can work because both of these heroes are quite tanky. Like Doom has Scorched Earth, and Ricky doesn't really have like lane presence. You know.
Yeah, they can both kind of
So-
just walk at the Ricky, and Faith can throw some
Yeah,
48
right click.
damage auto attacks, and that's it.
Exactly.
So it's
So-
looking all right. Cogs can end up missing the mana burn there on How, not a big deal. Stopping by on middle lane, Ferrari not having the best time against Moo, but he's got his bottle now. This is kind of expected for the Dragon Knight. He's just going to spam his way to farm. That's pretty much it. So doing just fine. Banana comes in. Can he get this trap down? No. Looks like the Dark Troll just a little bit out of range. They do manage to get it. In fact, in comes the Blink Strikes. SMJ pops the Scorched Earth. Some spirit damage is going to be dealt, but that's it.
I'm surprised the Sunshine didn't counter ward when they saw that there's
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
He's actually got a sentry. He's only got the one right now. Did you spot?
Yeah, he
where
used the other one to
Oh yeah,
block
the other one
the
is over here. Yeah. So right now, IG still just kind of farming up a little bit. We did see Banana make that first move over to try and help out the top lane. But who do you think needs to be the first team to make a move in this game?
Probably IG. Like IG needs to try and do something to the Storm. If they let the Storm get to like level 6 before they even get one gank on him, I think it could be a bit problematic. Because he is having a pretty good time right now. He is the highest. He's the most farmed hero on the map at the moment. So
yeah. Most farm and almost level 5, so doing very well. Meanwhile, YYF is having an awful time on the offlane. He hasn't even managed to reach level 2 on Darkseer just yet. And until he reaches level 3, they can actually just deny the creep, so he's not even getting farm out of the Iron
Shadow
Shell.
Demon. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like he's getting some creeps, but the creeps don't matter. He wants the experience, right? So, and the Shadow Demon is higher level than he is, so
Yeah.
it's a really rough lane for YYF.
Yeah, and I mean, he could consider heading over into the jungle, but is it SMJ? There's a Blink Strike top, but just pops a Scorched Earth. He's gonna be just fine. Banana reconsiders the direction that he wants to go here. And skeletons are gonna get summoned, but looks like Tongfu should just be fine to hold on to this tower. Ferrari's got a haste rune, but he's not level
Faith?
6.
Radiant's top
He
tower
was taking
is
some
under
tower
attack.
shots. I thought he might be in trouble, but it's okay.
IG really looking at this tower.
Yeah, this is really forcing it, Kim. Don't you think?
Yeah,
Like
this
the way that.
there's already 2 heroes here, and they don't really have the best pushing heroes either. So
They don't even
we'll
have the
see.
best killing heroes at the moment either, unless like Banana gets 2 creeps and they get a really amazing.
Some
tether
really good
to
coordination,
stun.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But even then, like the cogs are just such a huge problem, and even fighting away from your own creeps against the battery assault, like they don't actually have that much damage. And How is gonna get cogged in, manages to blink strike away, but Banana still wants to go for this. He's got the centaur. He wants to. Looks like he wants to keep pushing, but this is just more and more experience being handed to Tongfu. They're farming very safely right underneath their tower.
And you know, because there's 2 heroes here, it's really funny how this all turned out. Obviously, Kabu would like solo experience, but because they have 2 heroes here, IG can't even push the tower.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, the camps.
Dire's
Well,
structures
the sentry
are
wards have
fortified.
faded now, but looks like SMJ is just pretty happy to keep on hanging out up here. He's actually going to be working towards a mech over at bottom lane. Catcher not going to land. But Tongfu also doing a little bit of pushing of their own, but they can push a lot more easily. They've got 3 points in
Oh
Edict.
yeah.
Yeah, and they've completely
Darkseer
zoned
is
the
so
Darkseer
afraid.
off.
Like, yeah, they deal so much damage if he ever gets placed under, so...
They could just kill him. Well,
There's gonna be
there's
a
a
tower.
TP coming in. Disruption goes out. Another
Assassin.
TP. This is from the How. Makes his way in. There is going to be a surge. Zhou turns around, looks for the stun. Not going to be able to land it. The silence goes down. Zhou going to try and TP, but no. First blood is going to be drawn by How. Nice TP in. Exactly the hero that they needed. They still end up losing the tier 1, but okay at the... I think okay to pick up that kill.
Yeah, Joe had a pretty good idea to just stun and TP out, but he couldn't land it. And Moo's gonna pick up a DD here.
Tower is under attack.
He's level
But Faith and
7.
Ferrari, they're trying to chase him down. They're not gonna
Nah.
be able to do that. Is he gonna bottom core or is he going... Yeah, he should bottom core. But just gonna go back to base eventually. Oh no, he is fucking.
Moo... Kind of. Just going to get his treads delivered in and walk
What do you...
back.
Well, what do you think of that? Like, they TP'd
Radiant's
in
bottom
to
tower is under attack.
get first blood, but at the same time they lost the tower, and the Ricky had to go back to base and then walk back to the top lane, which gave a lot of room for Tongfu offlaners to get XP and go.
I think it ends up fairly even when you look at the trade overall. It gets first blood off the board, I guess, and it's always nice to have on your side.
But the map
yeah.
control hurts, right?
Yeah, the map control definitely hurts, and they can just Tongfu can just do the same thing again. They can still quite easily push this bottom lane if they want to. Zhou's got his Basu turned on. He wants people to be reacting to what he's doing. He wants to keep dragging heroes down to this lane, because he knows that IG can't actually fight them that well without bringing 2 or 3 heroes to it. So it looks like he's just going to keep on going.
It looks like Mu is gonna move towards the bottom lane with Sunshine over here. Maybe they want to try and push in the tier 2, which they easily could with Edict.
Yeah, I think they really want to get YYF down here and then just kill him. Meanwhile, on top lane, Kabu, it looks like he is going to be brought down. Tried to TP out, but Ferrari actually made his way up there. So IG will be able to grab another kill. YYF walking down pretty defensively to bottom lane. Mu's already shown that he's here. And YYF, there is some TP support on its way. 2 heroes. Mu, there's going to be a Dragon Tail. Can they actually kill him? Disruption goes out. I thought there was going to be a TP from the Riki, but it looks like it ended up being cancelled. I think Hao just canceled
I think he cancelled it himself.
Yeah, I think he did.
It was too long. Like 5-second TP to bottom lane and not being able to farm or do anything afterwards would be really bad for the Riki. So
yeah, and I don't think they expect. He didn't even expect the Dragon Tail to land on Mu. Like Mu didn't play that defensively, but he's still going to end up being okay.
There's still 3 heroes on bottom lane. I'm not so sure what it is. And wow, Kabu actually got to deny on the tower top. And that's a big win for Tongfu there.
Yeah.
Denying all that gold from IG.
Yeah, they got a last hit on the tier 1 tower bot. They got the deny top lane, so definitely some economic damage being dealt. Small gold lead in their favor right now. Again, you have to count the first blood and the kill back in favor of IG.
Going for Tongfu. There it is. The 2 towers on bottom, and from here on out, I think Tongfu are just gonna try and snowball the rest of the towers on this map. It should be.
How close are they to the mech? It's already finished. This is a really nice timing for Tongfu. Wow.
CSMJ. Yeah, he still needs a magic wand though, I think, because if in the fight he does cast something and runs out of mana, it's gonna be a big problem if you can't get that mech off. It's gonna be pretty useless, right?
Yeah, it's just armor and stats sitting in your inventory. Okay, so Hao is just sitting invis top. He would like Kabu to walk out a little bit further. They don't have a relocate just yet. Faith is actually sitting a fair ways back right now. And Faith is actually just going to be going for the Soul Ring Tranquils build. We've seen this a lot when DK have been running Tiny, just because the Tiny can then build phase and he doesn't have to worry about his own mana at all. He can just build bigger items. But how do you feel about it with the Riki here? I think it's still just the right build?
To be honest, it's Riki. I can. Oh wait, Kabu is getting stalked here by the Riki.
Yeah,
Wait, is actually gonna be able to
the
get
battery assault, get some damage down, drops the hook shot, drops the cog, almost kills the Riki. Stun comes from the low ground, they bring him down. Zhou gonna keep on hunting Mu with the big zip in, the disruption goes out, they've used the Doom, Ferrari's dead for sure. Mu's got a little bit of mana, can zip once more if he needs to. Ferrari will try and run away. The chase continues, but 3 stacks of poison along with the Doom. Sansheng picks up the kill, and IG turned that into a 2-for-1.
Looks like
Tongfu, sorry.
mid tower too, man. Mid tower too. Oh boy. And Riki, man, it's what we mentioned earlier. Like he doesn't have that big health pool, and wow, they're just gonna jump right in onto this. Use smoke screen and
gets demonic purge, eats the catcher. He might even die. Catcher's gonna pop. The wall is gonna be used. Banana keeps on falling. Well, keeps on fighting. Doesn't have any mana left. They do manage to bring down the Leshrac at the end of the day, but that's all they get.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
This is quite interesting. It looked like he was in a lot of trouble, but then the overcharge and then the surge came out onto the Riki, and the Tongfu were running out of damage as well to dish out.
Yeah, and actually everybody turns up mid for that. That was a pretty much a full 5-on-5 there. So IG, they kind of realized that Tongfu were in a position to be able to 5-man, and you said that Tongfu want to snowball from this point forward. Looks like IG feel that they can actually still stop them for the time being.
Yeah, they have to, right? If they end up leaving this tier 1 mid for any reason, they actually just ditch a tower, I think then IG are gonna have to ditch every other tower after that, because the Riki isn't close to like a big item
Something
yet.
big, yeah.
Yeah, he is not close. And DK, he's got an Ogre Club. He's pretty tanky, but
Radiant's
still,
bottom tower is under
just
attack.
not enough.
Ricky hunting for kills, but only going to be able to find some creeps here. He's loaded up with the Ion Shell, so it's a cute combo, but I don't know. I don't think that gives you enough value out of the Ricky.
Radiant's
So
bottom tower is
Tongfu
under
make their way
attack.
down. Kabu does actually have a hook shot, attempts it, but Hao is actually hiding way down in the trees at the moment.
Yeah, he's not farming either, and that's a pretty big thing. Like, your safe laner has 48 CS at 13 minutes in the game, and he's running around trying to get some kills. It's not going so well.
They don't really have anybody else that's benefiting from the
Radiant's
farm
top
either. They just
tower
kind of
is under
left
attack.
top lane. It's right underneath the opposing tier 2. Nobody's even close. Banana's pretty happy in the jungle, and they don't even have a greedy support like a Visage, say, to just sit there and get a whole bunch of items. So that's maybe just call it experience and gold lost for IG.
Radiant's bottom tower
Yeah.
is under attack.
The smoke. Okay, well,
Dire's
Shadow
middle
Demon getting
tower is
revealed.
under
They're just
attack.
gonna go right onto the tier 1 tower. There's no
Dire's
backdoor protection, of
structures
course.
are fortified.
But the glyph coming out now. Tongfu. Kabu, you okay, buddy? He's okay.
Kabu's just
Radiant's
fine.
bottom tower is
There we
under
go.
attack.
ZSMJ's
Meanwhile,
bought
there's
Radiant's
the pushing
structures
bottom.
are fortified.
Who's TPing in here? Storm is gonna be the first one to TP in. He's gonna get smoke screened up, but I don't think they're gonna be able to kill him. Is the SMJ? Oh wow, nice TP in from the Wisp.
Yeah, they dropped the wall as well. Pretty big investment, but kill and a tower.
Radiant's
Pretty
I
good
think
for
they need
IG.
to TP multiple heroes before they can, if they want to actually defend.
Banana caught out by Kabu is going to be dragged over the top of the cogs, gets brought down. Double damage waiting for a Moo as well. Now Ferrari still hunting with Faith. Disruption's going to go out.
Oh,
These
wow.
spirits are
Oh.
doing huge damage. Kabu going to walk back in. Moo keeps on fighting. He's got this DD. How will be able to walk. Drops the smoke screen. Kabu gonna try and man fight to buy a couple of seconds with the battery assault. Still gonna end up being a double kill for YYF. Moo uses the last of his mana to zip away. And that's the end of the fight. So overall ends up being slightly in favor of IG. They got the Doom bot, and then it ended up being 2 for 2 over by the Rune. 2 supports for 2 cores, effectively.
Oh, that's who would you say that would favor?
I think it's IG's favor overall.
Of
Slightly.
course. But like, the thing is, the bottom move coming out from Tongfu, that was quite questionable. Like TPing in the storm first, and then like another guy just TP'd right after slowly. If they want to defend the tower, they need to TP multiple heroes in at the same time. So wow, basically just gonna get surged up and walk away. And YYF also finished up his mech at the times.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's still. I guess he's overcharging at the moment, so he's going to be okay. Banana pops the heal as well. Faith is going to be just fine, and that's Doom on cooldown. We'll see if Tongfu continue to pressure this. I agree with you that that was a kind of questionable move bot that they did end up being punished for. And Tongfu, they play so solidly, but there always seems to be 1 or 2 moments a game where the decision making is just a little bit off, and sometimes it costs them, sometimes it doesn't.
Looks like IG, they're surrounding. Yeah, this is.
They're gonna fight.
5 mid right
Yeah.
now. Oh,
The
mid.
Doom's on cooldown. I think
Mid.
they're willing to take this. They've got the dragon form off. They're gonna pop that.
And look
There's
at
no
look at this
glyph.
Ricky. He's eyeing the storm right now. He wants to silence him up.
He's only got the
They
1
tried
point
ult
in the
from
cloud. So he's got plenty of damage. Hookshot's gonna come in on top
Nice
of
up
Ferrari,
on
but he's
Ferrari.
pretty tanky. No, the catcher is on top of him as well. He's being dragged back, but they drop the wall. Tongfu not gonna be able to fight. They're walking back to the smoke screen. Buyback from Moo to continue fighting. They did manage to finish off Ferrari. Moo rolls a long way in. Faith overcharging to keep Hao alive. And can IG get out of this with only the 1 casualty? Looks like they will be able to. Nice decision
That's a
to
buyback.
disengage.
Oh, too.
Yeah. They saw the buyback, they called the retreat, and only ended up losing 1 hero that had died anyway.
That's a lot of gold down the drain for Storm. He was actually getting pretty close to making his orchids, and now not so close.
Yeah. And actually with that, IG are going to take the... I mean, it's not by a wide margin, but they just barely took the top 3 farm spots in the game. So we were a little bit worried about how not getting that much done for a couple of minutes there, but after bottom lane, after that fight in the river, and after mid, things are looking up for him.
And it looks like the Ricky actually finished up Yasha. It wasn't a defusal or anything like that. Probably his next item will be a BKB so that he just doesn't die in his fights, and then he'll be in a really good position, I think.
The mysterious invisible dragon breath from Ferrari does suggest that there's somebody else smoked. Actually, it's only it isn't only him. Banana smoked a little bit further down. He places a ward, but there's actually a sentry sitting right next to it. So looks like free gold for Moo as soon as he walks up this hill. Yeah, there we go. There's actually sentries everywhere, just because Tongfu are trying to deal with the Ricky right now.
the Ricky.
Yeah.
That's a lot of resources coming from Sansheng going towards like sentries and stuff. Like, that's the thing about playing against invisible heroes. It's so annoying that you just have to. If you don't buy sentries and dust, then you're just going to end up...
Could this be a relocate top? How is spotted ZSMJ? Is he going to consider going for another wave? He's considering it. ZSMJ wants a couple more creeps. And in comes the relocate. He's going to try and run for it. Runs upwards just to try and get away from the stun.
This could be really good for him.
Is he going to be able to get... He just needs to buy a few... He needs to buy a few more seconds.
Wait, he's going to run right back into where the DK and Wisp were.
Okay, so they're still pincering him. After the relocate ended, maybe he could have tried to TP. He's gonna head up into the trees. This is definitely space created to buy the tier 1 to get the tier 1 tower mid. And ZSMJ drops the hoof stop. Wow. Can they stop him? There is gonna be a vacuum. They bring him down. I think still okay, just because they made so much space for his team to get the tier 1 tower mid. And they got a relocate out of that as well.
Tower is under attack.
And Storm, the big thing here I think is the Storm getting really close to finishing his Orchids. And once he does get his Orchid, if he ever sees this Ricky walk around, or he sees anyone basically that's not a Wisp DK, then I think he can just kill him. Or even in fights, he can just zip in onto the Wisp and take him out.
Yeah, the Wisp, or even the Darkseer, if you force him to pop the mech only on himself, or you remove him from the fight completely, then that's a pretty big win, because the wall has been doing a lot of damage for IG so far this game.
Oh yeah, and obviously when you're playing Wisp, Storm is like your biggest nightmare. That is the one hero you don't want to be playing against.
Yeah, even if you relocate in, if it's close enough to a tower, the Storm TPs, he zips on top of you, you die, and then the person that you brought along for the ride as well probably dies because you don't have everybody there. It's likely only 3 heroes or so.
It's a very reliable hero to kill off the Wisp. Like, look at the Wisp. All he has is a magic wand for stats, and some armor from charcoal boots.
And that's it.
He needs some more health, basically.
Yeah. Do you think he's just gonna the build that we've seen from MMY when he plays the Wisp, and it's very similar to what Faith is doing here, is he just goes straight for a BKB after he finished Tranquils and
that could be really good.
So,
that could be really, really good.
Might just be the build from him here.
I would suggest that.
Yeah. Zhou is working on a Bloodstone. ZSMJ just going to pick up a plate mail, so probably working towards a Shiva's. Kabu's still pretty poor. Might be able to head in towards a Force Staff. And Force Staff actually a really big item to have against the Ricky. There's a disruption top lane. Zhou needs to line up the stun. Gets it down. There is going to be a silence from Hao. Gets him a couple of seconds, but he's still going to pop. Nobody from IG really in position to help him out. And it looks like this might be the tier 1. There is a glyph ready. Is there a buyback from the Ricky? There is as well. But no, IG looks like they want to try and exchange the tier 1 for Roshan, but they don't really have that much damage. Let's see what they can do.
Tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Darkseer's Fists of Fury are going to go to work. I think this is going to take a very long time. Yeah, the Rocket Flare scouts it out. It's like, IG, what are you doing, buddy? David? Did you bump your mic again or something? No. It seems like I've lost him, but fight about to break out. Moo still got plenty of mana, just needs to get out of range of the Dragon Tail. There's a TP from him. Looks like he's going to be just fine to escape. And last couple of minutes worth of trades is just Tongfu picking up a kill and a free tier 1 tower.
Yeah, my mic, every time I bump the side of my headset, it keeps turning off the mic.
Okay, so
Switch, my bad. So
oh
we're
well,
good.
we're back. We're good. It's sweet. So right now,
Yeah, I was.
Hmm?
Sorry, I was gonna say I was really laughing at the Roshan attempt from IG.
Darkseer with overcharge goes to
Oh
work,
yeah, oh
but
yeah.
it's not that fast.
Damage.
That's some sick deeps. Okay, so YYF is working on a pipe to help deal with the Leshrac non-stop AoE spam. Zhou is going to be able to finish off his Bloodstone, so if they snowball from here, this is going to be very scary for IG. I think they've played this very well so far, but this is about the time where things could start going very wrong. Their damage hasn't grown that much because Ferrari's bought a BKB, and now the Riki is also working in towards a BKB, though he did end up going for the Mithril Hammer first. And comparatively, Tongfu have gotten a whole bunch of items. They've got the Orchid finished, and that Bloodstone on the Leshrac. So we'll see. This is a very important moment for IG.
Yeah, they know they're smoked up here, Tongfu. It's gonna back off. But you know, these kind of smokes, it's obviously good if they catch them, but it's really risky because look at where all the lanes are for Tongfu. When no one's farming the lanes like this, then you know that your opponent is just smoked up or rushing or something like that. And nice rocket coming out from the clockwork.
Yeah,
Expecting
it's
the
way too
Roshan
suspicious. Everybody is just smoked. Nobody is farming lanes.
Yeah, and this is really risky that the Leshrac just TP'd to bottom lane too now.
So he gives them
They
some
weren't
information.
Roshan and no one's on the map.
Okay, so they know that Zhou is trapped on the bottom side of the map. Now they either consider trying to find somebody else, or they just go for him. Who else have they spotted? I don't think Moo is... Maybe Moo's cleared a creep
Oh
wave, so they
boy,
know they're just on the
Zhou.
top side of the map.
They're gonna have
Zhou,
a
they
mass
get the
TP.
jump.
Mass TP.
Mass TPs are on their way. Zhou gets vacuumed back into the cloud. He is going to be able to pop the Bloodstone Suicide. Kabu also comes in, eats some spirit damage. Moo is going to be focusing on YYF. The Doom goes out onto Ferrari. Mech keeps everybody on IG healthy, though Hao is still dropping fairly quickly. The wall illusions are going to be a bit of a nuisance. Moo, no mana left, and with that, IG pick up one kill, they get the suicide out, and they're still looking at this tower. The Zhou would still like to try and take this fight.
Oh man, that's a really big win for IG because they killed the Leshrac, he bought out, they killed the Clockwork too. Like the mass TPs were right on top of a smoke cloud. So smoke screen,
Radiant
so
structures are fortified.
that did a
Radiant's
lot of work.
bottom tower
And
is under
Tongfu
attack.
IG,
gonna lose this tier 2 tower.
yeah, IG gonna get this one almost guaranteed. There is gonna be a smoke screen going down. The overcharge keeps everybody pretty healthy. They vacuum everyone into the cloud. Zhou keeps on burning away, but ZSMJ looks like he's gonna fall as well. 2 down so far. IG yet to lose anybody. Looks like Ferrari might take a spill. No, is gonna be healed up by the Wisp. Double kill for Banana. This smoke screen just impossible for Tongfu to fight it, and it looks like IG gonna pick up 4 for nothing. Kabu wants a kill, but no, the surge away. Hao stays alive, drops another smoke screen for this fight, and that's a clean team wipe in favor of IG. Very nicely played.
That was just a complete outplay coming from IG's
The
end
surges,
in that
the
fight.
mechs, the perfect targeting and all the heals from the Wisp.
The
Nobody
back
died.
into the smoke screens.
Yeah.
Like the Tongfu's decisions, like to go in on that, like defend the towers. The way that they're defending towers, I just can't approve of. It's
Yeah.
just
I think they wanted to get value out of using the glyph, because otherwise they glyphed basically for nothing, but yeah, looks like that disastrous fight is going to end up costing them the lane of Rax. IG, no intention of going too far away. The stun's going to whiff completely. He was looking for 2. There's a vacuum back into the cog.
Wow.
The wall's being dropped on top along with the smoke cloud. YYF and Hao are still taking some damage. Kabu's going to keep on trying to man-fight YYF. That's a 3-man stun from the Leshrac. Moo gets the drag back. Ferrari out of the Doom, pops his BKB. They got the lane of Rax. That's what they were looking for. Right clicks are still going to end up bringing down the Dragon Knight. But it's a 4 for 2, and they got the Rax. So I think even if it was like a 4 for 0 and they got the Rax, still worth it for IG.
yeah, they got the racks. That is the big deal there, but still, I think Tongfu had this game. Like they had IG in a vice grip, and they just let up. At the moment that they TP'd that Leshrac to bottom lane, when no one on IG side were on the map, it was just a complete disaster for them. because like you can just see it, you know, happening in slow motion. They're gonna
Yeah.
mass TP to defend this, and it's gonna be bad. But and obviously their second decision to try and go. I think the main reason why they actually went in on that tier 2 tower is because they bought back the Leshrac, and they don't want to just give up so much, you know. It's just a little bit greedy, and like you said, the glyph as well, like, could be.
They're like, we use buyback, we use glyph. I guess we better fight this, otherwise we're gonna look kind of stupid.
It's like, exactly, but sucks. IG just completely outplaying Tongfu after that. Obviously, Tongfu not taking the best fight for them. And another smoke coming up. The next time IG pick off a hero and pick off 1 or 2 heroes, they're gonna be able to get a tier 2 tower and Roshan. So
especially if they kill the Leshrac, he's gonna be dead for quite a while. After having bought back, so IG on the hunt. Ferrari smoke's already been revealed. Pops the dragon form. Looks like the Dire Ward did end up spotting Sansheng. Ferrari waiting for the rest of his team to catch up. Spots a few more heroes down here. They get the Dragon Tail out of the ZSMJ. They still want to take this fight because there is a relocate coming in. So IG have all 5. Down goes the Cloud. ZSMJ, what's he managed to use so far? It's not the Doom. He's actually struggling a little bit for mana. He's still being chased down by the BKB Ricky. One more right click. Finishes him off. Zhou's TPing out on the sidelines. They also get Kabu. He hookshotted in on top of the Enchantress to start that fight. And IG, 2 kills, and like you said, looks like this should probably be tier 2, and then swinging back for Roshan.
yeah, the Wisp DK is doing a lot of work. This combination is lots of damage
Radiant's
for
middle tower is under
getting
attack.
dished out by the Dragon Knights.
And Tongfu just can't fight anywhere near the smoke screen.
Radiant's
Like,
middle tower
they
has fallen.
IG relocate in on the perfect spot to drop the smoke screen. There is going to be a drag back on Faith top. He's bought a Ghost Scepter, however, might still die. Orchid damage has already been used. Tethers back to his teammates. Mech up. Earn as well. He's just fine. Oh, and actually, Hal, bit caught out, is going to be able to Blink Strike away, still brought down by the Demonic Purge. Just
Jeez.
lagging a little bit behind as Tongfu brought heroes towards top.
Moo can actually try to go in on the Wisp again.
Do they know where he is? They don't have a whole lot of
Does
vision.
not know.
No.
Yeah, they don't. Bottom lane getting
Radiant's
pushed in.
bottom
Looks like the
barracks
range
are under
racks
attack.
in a lot of trouble here.
Hero Siege Creep, gonna do a little bit more damage. The Moo actually just gonna walk away, he leaves it to the Leshrac to deal with it instead. Man. That's pretty cheeky for Moo. And that almost costs them their range drags. It's two Siege Creep hits away from dying. Okay,
It's
so
like,
a bit of a not the best moment for IG, but they only lost the Ricky. He's going to be back pretty soon. Actually working on an SNY. He's got that finished. So choosing to tank up a little bit more instead of focusing on damage. And more move speed, I guess, as well.
I think Tongfu really need to do something here with the smoke. Whatever they possibly can. Like, bottom is pushed off far enough that they could smoke up and try for a gank, but I mean, I think IG are aware of how Tongfu can get back into the game. Like, that's what IG is really good at, you know? They know what their opponent needs to do to get back in the game, so they try to not, like, give that opportunity. Like, any game you see IG, when they get ahead, they tend to end up winning that game. Like, it doesn't matter.
They're very good
I
at
think
holding
that-
on to an advantage.
Yeah, exactly. Like, unlike Tongfu here, like, they had an advantage in this game, but
They slipped up.
some poor decision making, it just ended their advantage. Like, you can see the goal
This is
graphics.
this is unexpected. Tongfu actually smoked into the Roshan pit instead of smoking for a kill.
It got pinged. It was pinged.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
been pinged. IG suspect something is up. They move their way in. The
Oh,
spirits
boy.
reveal everything. It's not
Even
low
if
enough.
they get
How
the
jumps
shot.
in with the BKB. The smoke screen's been used. They vacuum him back further into the cloud. The wall isn't doing that much. Tongfu have been able to walk away, and Kabu trying to prevent further initiation. Drops the cog on top of 3. He is going to be able to force staff away. Who managed to get their hands on that? It was Storm. He heads up onto the high ground. He's still going to be silenced. Sansheng eats a Dragon Tail. Ion Shell damage still going to work. They've lost 2 so far. Moo. The silence fades. He is going to be able to roll away. Could just go for a zip and a TP. Still gonna keep eating damage, but the zip TP, that's gonna be enough.
Yeah, they got Aegis.
IG got the
IG
last hit.
did get the last hit. Yeah, they got the last hit. So Storm snatched the Aegis, and they got two. They got 2 kills though, IG. So at the end of the day, I still think IG came out ahead. Like if they didn't get that Aegis, it would have been a complete disaster for Tongfu.
Yeah, if the Aegis was currently over on IG, then that's a sad story for Tongfu. Okay, so what have we got going on right now? There's 1 outer tower remaining for Tongfu. There's 2 outer towers remaining for IG. A little bit of a gold lead in favor of IG right now, about 5k, same story in experience. And what big team fighting items do we have? Sunshung, as we saw in that last fight, has managed to pick up a Ghost Scepter, so that's going to help him out a little bit if he gets caught in the cloud or the Riki jumps him. There's been a 4-staff up for Kabu for a little while. Looks like he's not too close to anything else. ZSMJ working on a BKB, it seems. There's going to be a hook shot going out. Kabu just...
They're trying to get
looking
Riki.
for Riki, but won't be able to find him. And did they lose? They lost their gem as well, I think, in that fight. Yeah. Okay, so that's a pretty big loss for Tongfu.
Yeah. Joe, at least he's pretty close to his BKB. But there's 2 BKBs up on IG side.
Yeah, there's about to be 2 for Tongfu. Zhou's very close. As it is MJ, maybe it's going to be a BKB.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It has to be.
I think it has to be.
There's,
Otherwise,
like,
you just can't cast any
he can't do
spells.
it. Yeah. He's getting clouded into and then vacuumed, and it's just doing too much. The IG is doing a really good job with the cloud vacuum combo. I'm surprised that's even working.
The BKBs. Oh, okay. I think the BKB, the Shrek. Actually, there's no way that they could have rushed out these BKBs faster. I think everybody is getting them around the time that you would expect. It's just that Tongfu faltered a little bit after everything that happened bottom lane, like we talked about, and so they do feel a little bit more delayed from the position that they were in earlier. Yeah. And ZSMJ is actually gonna pick up Ice Armor now. I think he was carrying Hoof Stomp earlier, but Ice Armor definitely gonna do some work for them against the Riki.
Oh yeah, actually this probably could have done. This probably could have done a lot of work if we got it earlier against the Riki. Oh man, would have been amazing.
Yeah, and the Riki was doing a lot of damage. Kabu's gonna hookshot into this. The zip comes in a long way. Have they managed to catch both of them? They have. Ferrari pops his BKB, is going to be able to bring down the clockwork. The man fight continues. Ferrari's got the double damage. It is going to be dispelled. He gets hit by the Demonic Purge. Moo has the Aegis. Hao jumps in. He's going to pop the BKB. He goes for the silence. ZSMJ in trouble. He was trying to get into this fight. He will be able to drop the Doom. Sansheng, defensive disruption, buys himself some time. We've had a buyback from the Dragon Knight. Banana keeps on throwing impetuses. They bring down the Shadow Demon. ZSMJ's BKB is worn off, and the Doom's about to fade fairly soon on Hao. They can get the Tether slow pretty soon. Zhou lands a nice split earth, but in comes the Blink Strike. They get the slow, the smoke screen to follow things up, a little bit of body blocking happening from Fate at the same time. ZSMJ's phase boots on cooldown, and with that, IG, they get the Aegis, they get the kill, the Doom's being used. They did cost them a buyback on the Dragon Knight, but I think, again, just a favorable trade for IG. Oh, they did buy back the Wisp as well. Okay, so fairly expensive, but... Oh, Moo. No BKB for 10 seconds. That was a tense moment. If Ferrari was 2 or 3 seconds earlier, that was just that.
Actually, they might have been able to relocate on that.
I owe you one.
Oh, I assume. Okay, they didn't relocate back into that fight after they bought back. They guess it just.
Or maybe it was on cooldown. Maybe it was on cooldown. It just came out
Radiant's
special,
top
but like
tower
they could have relocated
top
it.
tower has fallen.
Surely they would have done it if they'd had it.
It's hard, right? Because it is a storm, but
Yeah.
it's worth it at the same time. Oh boy, he's trying really hard for that courier. Not to get it.
Yeah, that's.
It actually has a Shiva.
Wow.
Oh, if you got that courier, it would have been really good.
Man, if they were having trouble escaping from the cloud before, Shiva's is only going to make it more difficult. So
man.
where are those BKBs?
Yeah.
There is one for Zhou.
Well, they have it. They have it.
Yeah, they have the BKBs. Good.
BKBs, yeah.
Phew.
Just yeah, it's pretty big deal that this Doom got BKB.
Yeah, okay. But Hao has 4.2k gold, so Butterfly is not too far away. And if he wants to just start shredding people, he could definitely do so. Let's see what he goes for here. Maybe he still goes back for Diffusal Blade? Maim isn't an orb. I don't know. We'll see what he does. No, Basher. Okay. Just wants more lockdown.
It's not so bad, I think. Because they have BKBs, like you're not gonna be able to cast
the purge
Diffusal in the right fights. Yeah, the Basher will go through the BKB and it'll be good enough for him. Like the Ricky isn't even the main component of this lineup, or like the one that deals the most damage or something.
Everybody plays a part. Like Banana is doing sick deeps at this point as well.
Like Ferrari is basically the Wisp DK combo is basically what's dealing the most damage in this fight.
Yeah, and Ferrari's actually managed to reach level 16 now, so I think he had it for the engagement over at the Ancients as well. So IG, pretty scary. 7.5k gold lead, 7.5k experience lead. Tongfu just kind of sitting back very defensively inside their base. The gem is still in the hands of IG. The gem cooldown for Tongfu is still about 1 minute and 45 seconds away. So for right now, they have to make do with Sentry Wards, unfortunately. And they are going to end up going for a smoke here. So Tongfu's still trying to find that one opening to bring things back to even. They're definitely at a deficit right now. Okay.
Illusion.
Let's see who they can find. Suspicious Storm Spirit Illusions. IG just gonna be TPing over towards the tower mid. They're just gonna wait until somebody has to deal with bottom lane before they consider moving out, I think. Like, surely Tongfu can't leave this for too long.
Yeah, Aegis, Roshan.
He will figure out the respawn time in about 30 seconds. Kabu gets the hookshot in. Who have they found? It's actually YYF. How long can he live here? Are IG just going to leave him for dead? He pops his pipe, he pops his Shivas. The courier comes in. The courier gets brought down by Mu. Not sure what it was doing there. The Doom is going to end up being used. Ferrari 430 up on the high ground. Kabu also going to end up eating a death. Ferrari still very tanky. Eats the Doom, eats the Demonic Purge, eats a catcher. Keeps on living. And that looked like a really big deal for Tongfu, but turned out to be a little bit underwhelming.
I think getting the Darkseer is pretty big deal because it does slow down IG's movements a little.
Oh, IG still want to try and take a fight here. They know that the Doom is on cooldown. Faith spirals in.
BKB
Ferrari gets
Joe.
the Dragon Tail out onto Zhou. Can they focus him down? No.
Disruption.
Defensive disruption buys them some time. There is going to be a bash over on Sanshang. Mu returns to the fight, zips out, but he eats a Dragon Tail, and he's got his back turned. Zhou still unable to escape the cloud. He's just way too slow. Triple kill for Hao. Mu going to buy back into the game to keep on fighting, but is Hao even going to end up dropping? He will. Looks like Ferrari might also die. Banana on the verge of death, gets the slow, gets back to health. Mu, how much mana does he have? He's chosen to switch over to the DK and the Wisp, but no, won't be able to find anything further. Banana actually ends up being brought down by Kabu, whose final moment is to drop some cogs to at least sure that Banana dies in return. ZSMJ, what can he do here? Buyback from the Ricky. There's a relocate coming in. The fight actually going to continue. Ferrari's got nothing. Mu, however, is going to end up being bashed as he pops his BKB. ZSMJ manages to TP out. And IG just seem to have way too many resources. They're one step ahead with the buybacks. They're one step ahead with, with the items and boots of travel from Faith. But his TPs, his TP was on cooldown anyway, so looks like Boots of Travel gonna end up being a little bit of a waste for him. Yeah, he's gonna have to walk.
Ricky getting
Ricky gonna get doomed up. The cogs go out. They're focusing on him. He's still pretty tanky, however. Kabu gets forced out back inside the base. Zhou eats a Dragon Tail, still burning away. But can Tongfu escape from this one? The wall's been used. Zhou uses his BKB trying to get out of this, but there's just no moving from what IG have. Ferrari keeps everybody locked down, and Zhou's just going to be forced to pop the Bloodstone Suicide. So IG bring everybody back to mid lane. Mu is dead for 30 seconds with no buyback. Zhou is dead for 45 seconds with, I would presume, with no buyback. And IG looking intent to just sit here and take a Rax. First hit bash from Hao as he jumps in. And that's going to be the GG. IG take the series.
Radiant's middle
Wow.
tower has fallen.
That's that.
Radiant's
And
middle
Okay.
tower
looks like a
is under
victory
attack.
for Ricky.
IG
Yeah.
victory.
Victory for Ricky.
Somebody doubted him. I think we both did. I won't pin this on you. We both were a little bit skeptical about the Ricky. But
Yeah.
it looked so good for Tongfu right up until bottom lane, and then everything.
I don't want to take anything away from Ricky, but I would
Mhm.
say it had something to do with Tongfu making a few misplays.
Some critical errors. Let's say.
Yep.
Yeah, and then like we said, once IG get that advantage, they are not going to give it away easily. And I think there were some misplays from Tongfu, but there were also just some really clean outplays from IG in some of those team fights. Tongfu were focusing down one hero really heavily. IG managed to mech and wisp and everything else and keep that hero alive, and that was largely the cause of that 5-0 bot. So that's going to actually wrap it up for the series. Congratulations, I guess, to IG. They're going to be advancing to the grand finals, which are going to be played against DK tomorrow. Again, we're probably going to have similar delays, so expect, I don't know, the starting time will probably be around the same as what it was today, and that's going to be a best of 3. Commiserations to Tongfu. They are going to end up coming third in this competition, still going home with a fair chunk of money, about 1.7k their prize. And Deben, any closing thoughts on the game, or is that it? Just the misplays from Tongfu were the big thing.
Well, Ricky won.
Ricky
Nothing
did indeed
to say
win.
there.
Mhm.
But Tongfu, I think it was their game to win here and push to a game 3. But the
Not gonna
misplays,
happen.
man, the misplays. I mean, it happens, right?
Yeah,
At all
definitely
levels.
happens.
Maybe Hao was yelling at Tongfu too hard, and they just got shook up
Hmm.
at the LAN.
There's always external factors at play. And again, I guess Tongfu, it's worth mentioning that they are still in the middle of mixing up their roles a little bit.
Oh yeah,
So,
oh yeah. I'm expecting a lot of changes to come after the Chinese New Year
yeah,
in China.
yeah. It
A
was
lot of changes.
it was the Chinese New Year, and I guess people were waiting for contracts, and people were also waiting for Ace finals.
Yeah,
to
that's
be-
that's
to be
when
over.
Chinese New Year is when the contracts are let up and players start getting bought out and whatnot. So
The-
I think
the-
it's gonna be a big shuffle coming.
Yeah, the next great reshuffle begins.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so guys, that's going to wrap it up for your Red Bull ECL coverage for today. I've been Basecamp here providing coverage on behalf of Beyond the Summit. It's been great casting for you all. If you'd like to leave me any feedback, you can email me at basecampdota@gmail.com. Otherwise, you can find me on social media under the name of Basecamp. Joining me was 1437, or Theben, so I'll pass it over to him to do shoutouts, do plugs, and then we can head off. If you would like, you can probably tune into the Chinese stream and watch some Hearthstone, but I'm probably not going to be around for too long.
Oh no, I think it's time to go snooze, man.
Fair enough.
Alright, well, you can follow me on Twitter at 1437x or on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/1437
147. Yep.
or 1437.tv, both work.
Oh, sweet. Website on its way.
yeah. Yeah, and I guess that's that. And shout out to you, Kip, for
Cheers.
being an amazing caster.
Cheers.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining me as well. So, and thank you everybody as well who tuned in. And I think that's probably it. So I hope to see you guys tomorrow for IG versus DK.